Friends, I'm back again. Today we're going to talk about 10 things I've learned since living in the Czech Republic. Now I've lived here for nearly 3 years, so I have a alright kind of semi-short big list. That doesn't make sense. This is what I've learned since moving to the Czech Republic, so if you're thinking about traveling, maybe take a look at this video, like and subscribe. Let's dive in. I think it's going to be a fun one. Now number one is they love their beer, and I'm sure if you're thinking about traveling to the Czech Republic, you know that the beer must be some kind of good. Upon moving here, I always had my favorite beers, but when I came here and tried the lovely sweet nectar of Czech beer, it was amazing. Czech people love their beer. It is so like ingrained into their culture. It is just like a normal thing to do. Go out on Saturday, have some beers with friends, have a beer with lunch, have a beer with dinner. Like it's just part of the culture. And Czech Republic actually have the highest beer consumption per capita in the whole entire world. So you gotta try it. I always thought I had my favorite beers in Australia, and when I came here, all of those beers that I once previously liked instantly became horrible. My last trip to Australia, I was drinking my favorite beer, VB. They're normally drinking like lager. It's like fresh, crisp, perfect amount of bubbles. I think that is the secret to how they make their beer so good. And even if you go down to Prague sometimes, you can go have a bath in the beer. I haven't been too game to try that yet, but I think here where I live in Moravia, it would be sacrilege to be bathing in beer. Beer is really good, so if you ever come to the Czech Republic, gotta try the beer. Even if you don't like it, just one. Also, Czech people are really big on the foam, so when you get your first beer here, don't be mad that the glass is half foam, because when I first came here, I was like, oh my god, that's huge. In Australia, people are complaining that the foam is too big. Well, here, it's like accepted, it has to be done. Now part two is, you gotta go to Brno. Brno is the second biggest city in the Czech Republic. And most people go to Prague. Prague is amazing here. Prague is everything. Prague is everything there. But if you want like a real Czech experience in a bigger city here, you gotta go to Brno. The prices are cheaper. Everything's about the same. Everything is there. It's just way smaller than Prague. Not so many people, not so many tourists. So if you want like a really big city experience, you gotta go to Brno, second biggest city in Czech Republic. There is some amazing architecture there. There's even a story of an old dragon that once ravaged the village and ended up being killed, and I'm not sure if it's the real body there, but there's a dragon there, so you gotta check that out. Number three, food. The food can be really heavy sometimes, and a lot of the food is like, it's like a braised meat, gravy, and like a bread dumpling or a potato dumpling. So it's like kind of really heavy sometimes, and not really that much vegetables. If you're vegan or vegetarian, then you're probably only gonna experience a small percentage of the culture's food. Some of the foods are really weird, some of the foods are really good. One of my favorites of all time is probably chlebiček, which is like a little open-faced sandwich. The way they put it together, the potato salad or the salad dressing they put on it's usually pretty good. They also love rohlík, which is Basically, it's a bread roll, but I think you would never find it in any other country than the Czech Republic. So, when you come here or when you travel, you will notice that you will see these little baguettes everywhere. This is a rohlík, and this is the staple to most Czech people's diets. They usually have it with breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. It can be very versatile, can be anything. Some of my recommendations would be like, yeah, you gotta try their pork or chicken schnitzels. They are really good. I don't know how they've perfected chicken schnitzels. In Australia, we eat chicken schnitzels all the time. It's basically the top pub food in Australia. But here, I don't understand how they're better. They just are, okay? Just the end of that. You gotta try goulash, you gotta try CZECH, which is the food that many people, if not all of them, have at their wedding. And you know, if it's at someone's wedding day, or basically the whole country's wedding day, then you know it's good. It's like a braised meat in a creamy sauce with dumplings. Delicious. You gotta try it. The fourth thing I learned about when moving to the Czech Republic is the Czechs love homemade alcohol. They love it. And the biggest and most typical one is slivovice, which is made from plums. Now, I have had many crazy nights on this stuff. My advice is when you go to a party and someone's offering you slivovice, okay, either just drink beer only or drink just slivovice. When you start to mix them, this is when the night starts to disappear from you. If you come to the Czech Republic, you will encounter slivovice. It is delicious. It is really strange if you come from another country. It is not for the faint-hearted. When you first try it, it's actually pretty scary. Most of the homemade stuff is about 50%, 52%. And coming from Australia, that's pretty strong. if you come to the Czech Republic, just realize, try not to say bad things about the homemade alcohol they have, because, you know, it really hits them in the heart. And a lot of people, you know, pride themselves on their family's slivovice or homemade alcohol recipe. Homemade alcohol is just everywhere. It's just, if you come to the Czech Republic, you gotta try homemade alcohol. Now for some of the single people out there, Czech Republic have the most beautiful girls in the whole wide world. Period. So, if you are here on some stag do, or you are here with friends or something, just remember, Czech girls are the most beautiful in the whole world. That's all I got to say about it. What I've learned from living here is the people are very accepting of you. And when you first get here, it can seem like people are kind of cold. Like, you know, you walk down the street, nobody says hello, nobody even looks at you, nobody gives you any part of attention. This was completely different from me in Australia. When you walk past someone, you always say hello. But once you get to know the Czech people, they are really accepting, and even if you learn a little bit of the language, they are usually pretty happy that someone's trying to use their really hard, really difficult language. And I hope next year, my language is going to be perfect. We will see. But yeah, I guess what I'm saying, if you travel to Czech Republic, just, you know, relax a little bit. Maybe people seem cold at first, but this is just part of the culture. Once you get to know them, they're really nice. Number 7 thing is, I think Czech Republic has a really nice like work-life culture. Like when they have like public holidays, it's like a real holiday. Like nobody is working. Maybe 1 or 2 bars are open for the locals, but mainly every single person on the holidays has a day off. And even when you get your time off during the year, they make you take your holidays. So they make sure you're rested. Seems like it's a nice work-life balance. I remember working in Australia in the bar. I was only working like, I don't know, 50 hours maybe. It was a lot. And it was just like go, 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 go. You will notice here in Czech Republic that not many people are like walking around with food. People like to sit down, have their lunch. You can really see it even in the small village I live in, like 11 to 12 o'clock, most places are closed for lunch. So people get to sit down and enjoy their lunch and just relax, like actually relax. Like so many times in Australia, I've been working and then eating at the back, like every couple of minutes or something, like never getting really truly relaxed. The lifestyle is like go, 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 go. You gotta go to the cultural events. If you're coming for a holiday, or you know that some kind of event is coming up, make sure you go there, because the Czech culture is pretty cool, pretty unique. The culture really revolves around food and beer and dancing and singing. And a lot of the folklore music in the different cities is amazing. I have definitely had some cool experiences. One time I went with the local folklore band from here for Easter, and we went around the village on a horse and carts, drinking, singing, and just having an all-around amazing time. And something I would never think or expect that I would see in Australia. The cultural events of the year are really, really awesome. A lot of it has got to do with drinking, dancing, and singing. So yeah, if those are 3 things that you like, you gotta get down here, you gotta visit it, you gotta try it out. The 9th thing I want to talk about that I've learned is that the wine culture is really huge here, especially in Moravia, which is like crazy for me, because when I lived in Australia I never heard about Czech wine, and I had been a barman for about 14 years, like long time of my life. Never heard a thing about Czech wine. When I first moved here, there was wine festivals, wine tastings in the family wine cellars. The wine culture is very, very cool and probably underappreciated by other countries, but I think the fact is that basically it all gets consumed in the country and there's not really that much wine for export, and that is why it's not so big on the other markets. But that's okay, that's our best kept secret, I think. So if you come into Czech Republic, you gotta try wine from Moravia. Now my last point I learned since living here is a lot of people have the I can fix it attitude, which is fantastic, because I have lived 30 years of my life being wasteful and buying new things and never fixing anything. If it broke, I'm probably gonna buy a new one or get it repaired. It's completely opposite in Czech Republic, or especially in Moravia where I live. Everybody seems to know how to fix everything. I don't understand how. Don't ask me. They just know. And I guess after the communist era, you know, it was really hard to get things, so people had to fix things themselves. So I think a lot of houses are lucky to have like all of the tools and everything ready and prepared to fix things. And since living here, I have really seen like how wasteful I used to be, and now I'm trying to like get in there and just give it a go. If I break it, then maybe I can repair it, but I think you get a better level of satisfaction and you just feel better when you fix something. If you have been to a Czech person's house, or if you're lucky to have been invited, some of the times the backyard is full of junk. Well, not junk, it's called like Český gold or zlaté, and I really like that attitude, and I think more of the world needs to employ this, because we're being less wasteful, smaller eco footprints, we're doing good things, or at least try. And that is my 10 things I have learned about the Czech Republic since living here for the last 3 years. I hope that was helpful if you are traveling here, or I hope that was interesting for someone who's been following me already. This is so far what I think I have learned, and if you want to see anything specific, let me know in the comments. I'll try and make a video for it. But it's going to be Christmas soon, friends, and I'm going to Germany on Wednesday, so I'm hoping I'm going for 12 days. I'm hoping that we can get some content in Germany. It's going to be unreal. If you're not following me, then maybe, I don't know, follow me. Yeah, I'm going to be making a lot of content. I'm going to Australia in January, so if you want to know something about Australia, let me know. It's something in the comments you want to see. Maybe I can even send some gifts to people. That'd be cool as well. Stay cool. We're going to do some big things soon, my friends. It's just a very busy time of the year. I haven't been able to pump many videos out, so thank you. Anyways, yeah, see ya. Talk to you soon. Bye.